In this video we'll be looking at 11.0, vertical, complementary, and supplementary angles. Okay, so let's dive right in. Vertical angles are two angles that are on opposite sides of a vertex. They are congruent. The congruent symbol is an equal sign with a squiggly on top. So they're on opposite sides of a vertex and they are congruent. So we could say that vertical angle 4 is vertical to angle 2. Angle 4 is vertical to angle 2. Can you name, so angle 4 and angle 2 are congruent. Can you name two other, angle 4 is congruent to angle 2. Can you name two other vertical angles? Well, we could say angle 1 is vertical to angle 3. So we have angle 1 and angle 3. So we could say angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. So they're on opposite sides of the vertex. Complementary angles are angles with a sum of 90 degrees. So we could say angle 1, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. And they would then form that right angle, so we could draw our box in there. Supplementary angles, also known as a linear pair, form a straight line and their sum is 180 degrees. So I could say the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. We don't really have a symbol for that. So let's go ahead and skip to number 3, where we will solve for x, y, and then find the angle measures. So I'm going to solve for x and y and then find the angle measures. So what's the best way to solve for these? Well, there's a couple different routes. We could use vertical angles, set these equal, or we could use supplementary angles. The sum of the angles is 180. What's the best way to do this? Well, if I set these equal, I'll have a y on one side and an x on the other. Will I be able to solve for x or y by doing that? Most likely not. But if I use supplementary angles and I add these two together and set it equal to 180, I can solve for x. And if I do the same with the y's, I can solve for y. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll find the sum of the two with the x, add these two together, and then we'll set it equal to 180. So I have 3x plus 5 plus x plus 15. That's going to equal 180. Now we'll just solve this for x. So I have 4x plus 20 equals 180. Subtract 20, and we get 4x is equal to 160. divide by 4, and we get x is equal to 40. So I got x is equal to 40. Now we'll do the same process to solve for y. So I can say that y plus 20 plus 4y minus 15 is equal to 180. Combining like terms, I get 5y, 20 minus 15 is plus 5 equals 180. Subtract 5, and we get 5y is equal to 175. Divide by 5, and we get y is equal to 35. So we found our x, we found our y. Now what we do is plug and play to find all the 4 angles. So let's look at AED first. So measure of angle AED would be 3. Where am I at? 3 times 40 plus 5. So we'd have 3 times 40 plus 5. And that would be 120 plus 5 is equal to 125 degrees. So we found that's 125 degrees. Now let's find CEA. So that's going to be 35 plus 20. Finding that y was 35, so we'll do 35 plus 20 is equal to 55 degrees. So we found that that's 55 degrees. BEC. BEC, it could be 4 times 35, but we already know. But let's use some of the things we know. If this one's 125 degrees, and we have vertical angles, what do we know about this angle? It also has to be 125 degrees. I don't have to plug in y and go through the math. I can use the idea that vertical angles are congruent. So this is 125 degrees, and then lo and behold, we can use that same argument to find out that if this is 55 degrees, then this angle over here must be 55 degrees. Vertical angles. So use those vertical angles when appropriate. So for letter B, what I'd like you to do is try this on your own. Try to figure out, should I be using vertical angles? Should I be using supplementary angles, complementary angles? What is the best method to solve these problems? So pause right here and try this on your own. So hopefully you tried this on your own. For me, what I see is that my best method to do this is going to be to use supplementary angles. I'm going to use angle ABC plus CBD, adding these two angles equals 180. Then I can add these two angles to equal 180, and that'll help me find x and y. So let's do that. So I have 2x minus 5 plus 75 is equal to 180. There's my first equation. And my second equation would be 4y plus 25 plus 75 is equal to 180. So let's solve these. Combining like terms, I have 2x plus 70 equals 180. Subtract 70. 2x equals 110. X equals 55. Divide by 2. On this problem, we will have 4y plus 100 equals 180. Subtract 100. 4y is equal to 80. Divide by 4. Y is equal to 20. So I have x is 55 and y is 20. And we know this is 75 because of vertical angles. So I already know that DBE is 75. There's multiple routes to find these angle measures. I can plug in x if I want. I could plug in y if I want. Or I could use supplementary ideas. 75 and what is equal to 180? Well, I can already see that that's going to be 105. So that's 105, and then the vertical angles would make this 105 as well. So you don't always have to take the longest route. Sometimes if you just look at it and really think about the ideas that are going on, you can find an easier path. So I always recommend, try to be efficient. Try to find that easier path. Don't waste too much time thinking. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.